How do you make your dreams a reality? Has it been very challenging? Why? The Dream to Rise podcast was created to inspire individuals on their journeys of personal and professional growth. Recognizing the power of dreams and aspirations, this podcast aims to share authentic stories, valuable insights, and transformative strategies from a diverse range of guests. It serves as a platform for encouraging listeners to overcome obstacles, embrace their potential, and pursue their passions with purpose and determination. Ultimately, empowering them to turn their dreams into reality. Let us listen to our guests and learn from their story. Welcome, my dear listeners. We have another episode which I'm kind of excited to listen to because our guest is a fitness and life coach certified ultimate fit jumps instructor, frequency alchemist, and founder of the Girl Powerhouse Network. She helps women leaders and entrepreneurs overcome burnout, release emotional and physical weight, and step into clarity, confidence, and purpose through an integrative approach that blends high energy fitness, mindset coaching, holistic wellness, and sound healing. With over 20 years of event planning experience and certifications in human resources management, health coaching, life purpose, and happiness, she bridges corporate strategy and transformational growth. And she's also the editor-in-chief of Phoenix Fitness Fanatics magazine, a multi-best-selling author, book coach, and publisher. And according to her, at the heart of everything I do is community because we rise faster and stronger together. Let us all welcome Tiffany Williams-Parra. Welcome, Tiffany. And I
Thank
like your motto, huh? Because I'm a people person as well. I always value connection. I always value community because we're human beings. We cannot live all by ourselves, right?
right,
We need
right.
someone. It makes us complete when we
Yeah,
are with someone, right? Especially
yes.
with what you do. You are with always with people, with community. You like to connect, collaborate,
Yeah.
and see how we can support each other. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's all about community. We definitely can't do it alone, you know? We can get so far by ourselves and then we need to connect with someone that has maybe already gone through this journey or, are in the same journey so we can inspire and encourage each other to keep pushing through and also be able to encourage those, and inspire those that, we've already done it. Come on, you can do it. You can do it too because if
Exactly.
I can, I know you can. So it's definitely
Exactly.
all about the community.
Wonderful. And when you mention about we have gone through that journey, those struggles, those issues in life. Now it's up to us to share that light to others, share our story so others may be inspired and empowered as well. Tell
Right.
them, and life is a journey, it's not the end result. It's how you enjoy the adventure. You may experience ups and downs, but then that's when you can say at the end of the journey, what have we become, right?
That's right. That's right. I feel like life is a roller coaster,
Yes.
and you can either be very scared to get on that roller coaster or you can be excited and you can throw your hands up and go, wee, throughout all the different parts of the journey, even the negative parts of the journey. We learn from them and when we're in it, we a lot of times feel like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. We're in this. But
Mhm.
then when we get through it, we're like, oh my gosh, why was I even like that? I didn't even need to be like that. I got through it. But again, it always goes back to the community because you need those people to really just kind of encourage you to just get up sometimes. Because sometimes even just getting up in the morning can be hard.
Oh, yeah.
Through my journey, I mean, there were so many moments where when I was in the corporate environment, as a human resource executive, I didn't a lot of times want to get out of bed. And I didn't even realize that that was my body telling me you're not doing something that is serving you anymore until it smacked me right just poof. Like, I mean, one of the hardest things ever. And it was a realization at a routine doctor's check. All my numbers, everything were all wrong. My blood pressure was high, my blood sugar was high. I was losing my hair. I mean, there were so many things going on. I was at my heaviest weight ever, and I didn't even realize it because I was just kind of just moving through and I wasn't even listening to my body. My body was telling me when I didn't want to get up in the morning.
Mhm.
I should have listened and said, okay, this is not giving me passion anymore.
Mhm.
What is going to give me passion? What is going to give me joy?
Yes.
Right?
But how long
And
have you been in that in the corporate world? How?
I was in corporate human resources for and management for almost 15 years.
Oh, for
Yeah.
15 years. And it
Yeah.
took
And
you
I did
15
retail.
years.
I did like management in retail and all that stuff before. So I was always in those stressful work environments,
Yes,
you
yes.
know? Yeah.
And how did you discover your why or your purpose? Is it because of your health deteriorating, not excited, and so on? What made you make that shift? Or probably you could, well, now we're in the story, you sharing our story now. What were your pains? What were your challenges?
You know,
Make that mind shift, made that decision that enough is enough.
really the defining moment for me was during that doctor's visit because I had a young son. My son was about 4.5 years old, and I'm like, wait a second, like I got wait, did you just say I could possibly die? I could start losing limbs if I don't take care of my health? Is that what you're telling me? Because I was already having neuropathy in my feet. They were tingling. Sometimes I would have heart palpitations, things like that. So I looked down at my son and I'm like, no, no, I can't do that. I said, we already have issues on the other side of the family that, that's a whole nother story, but I couldn't go anywhere. So I just had to dig deep. I went to my car, I cried, I cussed. I didn't, I had a little bit of a breakdown,
Mhm.
and once I came out of that, I prayed, I just said, okay, and Tiff, we gotta think about this. What can we do? And I
Mhm.
started thinking, I said, I already had the answers. I had gestational diabetes when I was pregnant. So I knew how to eat the most strenuous diet ever
Uh-huh.
because that diet, they'll tell you, oh, a half a stick of string cheese and 12 almonds is a meal. No, it's not. Okay.
Oh,
But that's
oh.
just the way you have to eat. I mean, it was little bits of food, every so often where my body was able to process it. So I went back to that. But instead of me getting frustrated over the things I couldn't have, I said, how can I incorporate the things in a healthy way? If I want chocolate, how can I have healthy chocolate? Well, dark chocolate with 70 to 75% cocoa in it is better for you because it's higher in antioxidants.
Mhm.
Bing. Okay, let me have chocolate that way. Even though it was bitter to me at first, I really didn't like it, but I still got that chocolate taste at the end where I was like, okay, I can be satisfied with that. It was just small adjustments. It took me 3 years to release 118.7 pounds, almost 120 pounds, but
Oh, really?
very, very slow and steady. And I had to get my mind right. Why was I in back to back toxic relationships? Why was I emotionally eating? Why was I, doing all these different things that were hurting me, really? And I went to therapy. and a lot of times, people in, the African American community, and I know my mother and, aunties and grandparents, grandmothers, we'd have those discussions, and no, they would talk about it in the family. Like, no, you don't need to go talk to nobody. So that's how I grew up. So at first it was like, no, I don't need a therapist. I don't need a coach. I don't need nothing. But that was what I needed. So once I got into therapy and got a chance to talk about some things, I got to talk about things that I didn't even know were going on back there, because there's so many things in your subconscious going on. And unless you really get someone that understands that to show you, you just don't know. So I got a chance to, tap into that and figure that out. And once I lost the first 40 pounds, the toxic relationship went out the door, because he didn't like me being confident.
Oh,
You know?
a very
So
narcissistic person. Oh my.
exactly, right? I mean,
Oh.
but thank goodness for that, because that made me understand that these are not the types of people that I need in my life, right? So I really started focusing on me and my son and things that we could do. Someone told me, I started out doing a mile a day. I'd walk a mile a day, then 2 miles a day, then 3 miles a day. And as I was doing that and changing my eating, the weight was coming off, and it was coming off just wonderfully,
Mhm.
but then I had someone else say, make sure that you're lifting weights. I went to 24-hour fitness, got a personal trainer. She said, you need to start lifting weights, because when you lift weights, your body burns more calories when it's at rest because of the muscle mass. Blew my mind. Okay, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Because back in high school, I did shot put discus, and that was a lot of weightlifting and all that stuff. I thought, okay, yes, let me
Mhm.
go back to that. So went back to that practice. These are all things that I had already known, the gestational diabetes diet, working out and having that lean muscle and what that does for you. So incorporating that again just really started helping me to get where I needed to go, and where the community came in as I'm working out in the gym. We were getting up at 4:30 in the morning. I found a gym buddy, because I wanted to be able to hold her accountable so I could hold myself accountable. If I told her, hey, we're gonna go to the gym at 4:30 in the morning, then I'm calling her at 4 o'clock. Hey, are you up? We gotta get to it. If she didn't hear from me, she was calling me or texting me.
Oh.
So if I got that, it was like, oh, I gotta go. Even if I was a little bit late, I gotta go. That helped. So through this, always make sure you have a buddy when it comes to releasing weight and getting active and things. I started doing 5Ks with my son. We started doing bubble runs and color runs and mud
Uh-huh.
runs, all these fun things. And as I was doing that, I was meeting all these different people that were doing the same thing. They had
Yeah.
their kids out there doing the runs, and they had their families just having a good time. And then I started seeing these older people out there, people that are in their 60s, that are doing 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons. That inspired me to go, I'm going to do a half marathon. So then I started doing half
See?
marathons.
See? You know what? While you were sharing this, I could see the importance of you being surrounded by the right people. Those
Yes,
who are aligned to your values, to your dreams. And I felt that there was also a calling from God that I will give you the things that you need, help you discover and realize that you have those gifts within you, but we just need to discover those things. We
that's
just
right.
need to be really very committed, persistent, take action, take those
That's right.
uncomfortable action. And I
That's
like
right.
the accountability partner. It
Yes,
helps.
it
It
really
really
does help.
helps.
Yeah.
It really
And
helps.
I know this was nothing but God, because as I prayed about this, going through this journey, I had to put in a routine,
Mhm.
so my morning routine, I was up again, 4 o'clock, I'm calling her. So I already have to get ready before then. So just imagine I'm getting up about 3:45. I'm taking quiet time so I can just pray and be grateful for waking up,
Yes.
because that's so important. people just take advantage of just, they fly out of bed, they go jump in their, jump in the shower, get themselves dressed, they're off to the, sitting in traffic for a while, they're playing on their phones and they're in the office. It's so sad because people need to just take a minute to have some gratitude for one, for your body that God gave you. That this is your temple. So
Exactly.
take that moment of prayer, take that moment of quiet. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you take that moment of quiet, you get all the answers.
Mm.
Every time I would meditate and pray, that was when all of a sudden I'd get an email or something, once I would log on, and that was,
Answer to your problem.
a gym, right? And it
Ah,
happened to be the gym that I go to, that I get the greatest personal trainer that I could have had for me, right?
yes.
And it was just so amazing how that was happening. Or, a friend would introduce me to someone,
Mm,
after I was, praying for, this specific thing that I needed in my community, and bam, all of a sudden it's there,
exactly. And
so.
you need to really listen to your inner self as well, your intuition.
Mhm.
Because, well, your inner self, your inner voice, I mean, is connected
Yeah,
to God as well.
that's
So
right.
when you mention, I always put it in a piece of paper, my
Yeah,
questions, and then I sleep, read several times, and I sleep. So this will come into my subconscious mind. And you
yeah.
know what? When I wake up, I could see it may be something, a message or a quote that I will
Mhm.
read in a book or a passage from the Bible or even a message from a friend who just shared something, an insight,
Yeah.
which is actually the answer to my prayer. And and sometimes our gut feel. I've learned my lesson. I know I have this gut feel. Don't do this. Don't do this.
Yeah.
I always say, okay, I'll try it. I'll try it because I have my objective, my goal for this. But then God has a different goal for you, has a different
Mhm.
plan for you. So if you feel that I'm kind of, if I'm feeling, I'm having butterflies or kind of scared, there's fear within,
Yeah.
I don't do it. The gut feel, I always say that always gives me it good results, really. Yes, it all comes from God. The connections, the ideas that we get, it's
Yes.
all coming from God. Uh-huh. I like that. I like that. So now, because of that, you discovered the purpose of you helping others now.
Yes. Well, just sharing my story, as I was in the gym, people were starting to kind of notice, some changes in me, but also just my personality. When I show up at the gym at, 4:30, they open up the doors. And the one thing that my gym buddy would say was that I would show up with a big smile, and I'm like, good morning. Hey, good morning,
Yes.
George. Good morning, Claudia. Good morning, Bara. And that's just me just wanting to say hello, good morning, and just connect with people. It was just a very small group of individuals that were there at 4:30 in the morning. So why not take a moment to acknowledge them?
Exactly.
And
And
as I was doing that, it just, I started sharing what I was doing. I mean, some of the ladies that were in there had just started on the journey, so they were trying to figure it out. And a lot of stuff that I was able to gain when I got back into the gym. I had already worked with a personal trainer. I became a personal trainer because I didn't want
oh,
to hurt myself in the gym,
oh, oh, why?
right?
What
I
gave
didn't want
you?
to hurt myself using the machines and pushing myself
Ah,
even
yes.
harder, because I would watch, I would do modified things when I was with my personal trainer because I was just starting out,
Mm,
and then I went off on my whole running, journey and all that. I got a chance to run a marathon, all that stuff. But as I was doing that, I'm working out in the gym, and I'm working out harder because I need my body to function at a different level for where I was going as a runner, because a 5K, a marathon looks a whole lot different than 5K when
yes,
it comes to training, right?
yes, yes.
So I
Exactly.
had to work on those things. And as I was doing that, there were a couple of times that I worked out in the gym and I did hurt myself. I'm going to be completely
Oh,
transparent. I was like, oh, shoot, and I banged myself up pretty good. you know, I really don't want to pay more trainers and stuff. And this particular gym we were working at, the trainers that they had, I really didn't vibe with, you know.
Uh-huh.
So, and you can't bring an outside trainer in. You know, I did work out with an outside trainer outside of that, but I still needed the gym. So,
Mhm.
you know, I said, well, let me just go ahead and become a personal trainer. You
Wow,
know?
a great
So,
strategy.
and then as now I'm sharing, you know, and I'm watching people that are starting out, and I'm going and I'm asking, you know, would you mind if I show you how to correct this, you know,
Oh,
and things like that.
nice.
And I would drip it on them. I wouldn't come out like, oh, I'm a personal trainer, let me help you, da da da. No,
Uh-huh.
it was, hey, you know, I know you can kind of hurt yourself on this, so can I just maybe show you how to do this? Or I would have other, you know, ladies that kind of gravitated to me that would see me doing a modification on something, and they're like, oh, what
Uh-huh.
is she doing? Like,
Yes. And
hmm.
then they'll copy you.
And then they go ahead and they come over and they copy me. So it was
Uh-huh.
just amazing because as we're working out, we're talking and you know, just doing what we do as girls, and we're sharing our life, you know, really. And there were just some very interesting stories that were coming out, and you know, we were just inspiring and encouraging one another. And that's when I said, you know what? I've been doing this my whole life. I have been bringing groups of girls together. I mean, we did this back in elementary school. You know, I was always that leader, always that one trying to give advice and things like that. And you know, so it just all kind of came to me that this is your purpose, girl. Like you should probably go ahead and dive on into this. Yes, the personal training thing is great, but it's so much more than that, so much more than that. Like, look at all the things that you overcome, and you're over here sharing with other women. Like, I had ladies that were releasing themselves from their toxic relationships after talking to me a few
Yeah.
times, you know, because they understood and they knew, like, I understood what they were going through. I didn't tell them to leave, I just explained what I did and
Yes.
why it was so important for me to do what I needed to do.
Yes.
And they just were like, "Oh my gosh, like it's equally important to me too."
Uh-huh. So because you mentioned you had your therapies and coach, now you're coaching. How would you differentiate therapy and coaching?
It's quite different really because a therapist has the medical knowledge behind them. They know really and truly how the brain works, you know, because that is their course of study. A coach is someone that really has more life experience that
Mhm.
could really just kind of coach you and share the journey and just really be able to teach you on that level, you know. And if it gets to a certain point, a coach, I know I've told my clients, I think you need a therapist because I cannot help in this particular area. You know,
Yes.
if I have someone that may have, we'll say like bipolar or something like that, you know, I don't, you know, I don't have the background on that. I have friends that I have, you know, dealt with and been able to have great friendships with that are bipolar and things like that. So I know how to be able to be with someone like that, but I can't tell you how, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
it's just it's very different.
I
Yeah, very
agree because
different.
they're licensed to do that. They have the education. I think they
Absolutely.
even have a minimum degree to be a therapist is master's degree, and then
I think
others
so. Yes.
to go to PhD. But we don't know if they had gone through the experience, the life experience. But a coach is
Right.
we don't advise, no? We don't advise, we
Right.
just share, and it's up to
We
them.
shared.
How will they work things out for them, for their problems or for whatever they're experiencing? And it's sharing that light for them so that they may be able to discover their light as well.
Yes.
And then
Absolutely.
probably that could be a start for them to share their light also for other people. So we are
Yes.
being light warriors.
And you have to share your story. That's why
Yes.
I write, you know. whenever I do, we've got the Becoming a Girl Powerhouse trilogy, which is 3 of my books, and it's volume 1, 2, and 3. It's 45 women sharing their stories from trauma to triumph, you
Mhm.
know, and these are stories that are all over the place: cancer survivors, narcissistic relationships, being beaten, like assaulted, in a public place, things like that. So many different stories. And whenever I talk to people that have read these stories, there's so much of an impact there. You never know who you're going to impact with your story, because someone could be either going through that same thing right then, or they're starting to go through that and they're not understanding what it is and how to even think to get through it.
Yes.
So share the story, share what's
Exactly.
going on, share how you got through it to
Yes.
help someone, like you said, to be that light,
Uh-huh.
because we are that light. There's a lot of people that are in very dark places right now, just trying to figure it out,
Mhm. And most of the
you
time,
know
they get stuck in that dark room because they would always say, "Oh, I'm too old. Oh, I don't have that educational background. Oh, I cannot write. Oh,
right.
I don't have that talent." Excuse me, you have a gift. You have a talent from God, given to us by God. We just need to
Hmm.
discover and develop it. That's why a lot
That's
of
right.
people were saying, how will you discover your purpose? Others would say, what are you passionate about? Do what you're passionate about.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I think it's about discovering really your skills. What are your skills that you're good at?
Yeah.
And then now develop it. And
Mhm.
later on, that would be your passion. You don't know how it will impact other people, those who are
Yeah.
in need.
And when
And
you tap into your passion, you know that you tapped into that passion, because that is the thing that just fuels
really,
everything. That's your why, you
yes,
know. And one of my mentors said that if your why does not make you high, it is not, you're not there yet. You're not there yet.
exactly.
So, and I really agree with that. It's like whenever I think about, helping someone and being able to, mentor and encourage them to, to tap into their passion and their purpose, it just gives me so much joy. I mean, I fly out of bed every morning. It's like, hello, good
Yes.
morning. I
Actually,
get to do this today. It's not, oh, I
you
got
are
up.
alive, right? So
It's,
much
oh, I have
alive.
to do this
Uh,
today. I have to do that. When you're doing something that you don't want to. No, I get to do this today.
yes.
You
You
know?
you get inspired. You have that fire within you to do more. Actually, whenever I talk to my clients, I always ask them when they when we create a blueprint of their dream, I
Yeah.
always ask them 5 questions just to check if their dream or purpose deserves their time and energy. First, does it make you alive? Does it
Mm,
give you excitement when you wake up in the morning? You feel excited.
yeah.
Second, does it make you grow? Will,
Mm-hmm.
will this dream help you become a better version of yourself? And
Right.
then the third is it aligned to your values? Because if it's not aligned, then there's no guide for you to go through the journey. No? And
Mm-hmm.
then fourth is, do you need help from God? Because if you'll say that, oh, I can do that, I can achieve that, those are not dreams, those are goals.
Mm-hmm.
Because dreams should be more expansive.
Yeah.
You don't know where to get the answer from, no? We have
Mm-hmm.
limited resource within ourselves. We are
Right.
limited. And then the last one is, will it do good for others? So will
Yes.
it benefit others? And that's how I always tell my clients. Make sure when you create a dream or your purpose, it has a yes factor from the 5 questions. So
Yes.
those
I
are
love that. I love that. With mine, yes, 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 and yes.
and what you're doing is yes, 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 yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's really coming from God. And so now I would just like to check your what now are your goals right now for the next 12 months?
So my goals right now, we are in a international relocation process. So going to the Dominican Republic, and just being able to get settled there. We're doing retreats. The retreats are really they're designed for both men and women, but mainly for women over 40 that are high, those high achieving women, those women that are business owners, executives, corporate executives, people that are just running on, they're burning both ends of the candle, right? They're from burnout to bliss. So the next 12 months is really being focused on bringing women to the island and really helping them to develop the skills, that they need to make sure that they can go back into their environment and not that burnout. They're going to learn some things that are going to really help them to tune in and really tap into themselves, even from just being able to take a moment to pause and take a deep breath, because we don't even do that.
Yes.
Honestly, we don't even breathe correctly.
Yes.
Someone had, I learned that in a seminar one day, in the last couple of months, and they were like, we don't breathe, and I said, well, wait a sec, what do you mean? We breathe through our chest. And if you're breathing through your chest and not through your diaphragm, you're not breathing correctly. It's shallow breathing. So you're
Oh.
not even giving your body the oxygen that it needs. So you need to take a moment to just pause, take that nice
Mhm. Yes.
deep breath where you just feel it. So that's what we're really doing in the next 12 months, focusing on honing in on those women that really need those tools, and then being able to take them back into the office and have some tools that you can bring into your environment that are going to change the other people around you, like essential oils and different things like that. Smells are everything. Okay, as an HR professional, I learned that I was able to get people to wake up in the morning when they were coming in sluggish, just by coming into my office and taking a deep breath. And in the afternoon, when they were really stressed out, I would change the scent. They would have some lavender in there, and they'd come
Uh-huh.
in and they'd take a nice deep breath, and they would feel that calm. So honestly, there's so many different tips and tools that we're going to be giving to these ladies to be able to just really create a positive, wonderful work environment for themselves as well as those around them.
Actually, breathing is a very important tool, as what you have mentioned, in to relax yourself, to calm yourself, instead of taking drugs, anxiety pills, and so on, which could have adverse effects on your health. These are the things: meditation, prayer, because it calms you down. It lowers your blood
Yeah.
pressure. It most of the time we have this cancer, heart problem. It's because of stress.
Take a moment, have some herbal tea.
Yeah.
People don't stop and just, they're putting coffee and caffeine and stuff because they got to get up. No,
Um,
stop and have some herbal tea. That's going to do your body so much better.
yes. Or
We've got this flu going on right now. And let me tell you, Cynthia, this flu that's going around, I have been a tea making woman over here for people because I have a wonderful herbalist that I'm involved with, Revelation of Nature. And then I infuse with fruits and things like that. So people get sick. I'm like, okay, I'm running to them. I take my tea every morning. I take a moment to just sit. This is my
yeah.
second cup. My first
That,
cup was sitting, having that moment, had my nice music on.
yeah.
I wanted to get ready for this interview. I want to make sure that I show up, not frazzled or anything, just
Yeah.
being able to show up calm, cool, and collected, and,
With
and
a
being able to give the
positive attitude, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yes. Me, water.
That too. That too. Absolutely. I
Sometimes
got
you
to get away from the plastic bottles a little bit because of the
don't.
particles in them. But
Yeah.
I do. Water is everything. I try to. The rule of thumb is take your body weight, cut it in half. That is the ounces of water that you need every day, and that will change because
Oh.
if you're losing weight or gaining weight, you're going to need more water, because more water is going to be flushing all those toxins, all those things out, and also helping you to stay full longer, right? So then you can
Yes.
release that weight that you're holding on to. But also, as you know, just as rule of thumb, take your weight and cut it in half.
Really? So that's the secret. So okay, now I know. Thank you for that tip.
You're welcome.
Okay. So now what do you think would be the major roadblock for you to achieving your
Honestly, major roadblock would be if I didn't have my community. If something happened in my community where I was not able to have access to my mentors and the people that I learned from, I think really that would be the biggest roadblock for me, because I do have, I have the people that I speak to daily, and I have, some that are bi-weekly, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that would be my biggest roadblock, because they help to inspire me and to keep those juices flowing for me. Because I too, I mean, we're human. Sometimes we get stuck in that hamster wheel and we need somebody to help pull us off there. So that would be the biggest roadblock, is not having my mentors and my coaches to help encourage me and continue to push me forward.
So it ends up to us, to me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to me. Yeah. To encourage us. So it's us. Usually that's the major roadblock in our lives.
Yeah.
We tend to get stuck in our situation because of the fears, of
Right.
limiting beliefs, of the doubts, the past pains we've had, and we are
Mhm.
unable to, we still carry that heavy baggage while
Right.
willing remove that
You
heavy.
have to ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen?
Yes,
What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work out exactly the way that you wanted it to, but guess what? What if it works out better? Because
yeah.
that's what God's plan is for you.
And another thing, if we fail, it's not really failure because we've learned
No,
something new. And
exactly.
when
It's
we
always
apply
a
that to
lesson.
the next one, it becomes better.
That's
Uh-huh.
right.
So it's a
Yeah, you
win-win
have to fail
situation.
forward. That's what someone told me. Fail forward. When you fail, just you don't go back and, oh, you know what? No, I
Yes,
failed. And I'm not going to do this anymore. No, I failed. What can I learn from it to make it that much better when I execute it again? And then you go and you execute it again.
yes. And failure is a stepping stone to success. It's a form of feedback.
Right.
Yes.
That's
So
right. How
Edison,
many times did they say Edison came out with the light bulb? They said
yes,
Edison tried so many times, over and over and
10,000
over.
times. 10,000 times.
10,000. Isn't that crazy? 10,000 times. So
Yes,
just imagine if he would not have done that 10,000 times, where would we be? We wouldn't
yes,
have light. We wouldn't
yes.
have electricity. We couldn't do this.
Exactly, exactly. See? So it's just pursue your goal, pursue your dream, no matter what, if we exit in a different, I mean, if we make a mistake taking a different exit, we've learned something, another route, probably.
Yep,
But again, go back to your GPS, which is your destination. We
that's
always
right.
learn something new. So,
Absolutely.
what would be your uh, advice, simple advice to our listeners?
Simple advice to the listeners is just do it. If you're thinking about it, if it's in your heart, just do it,
Mhm.
because God put that on your heart. So don't wait until the end of life where there's regret because you didn't do what was in your heart. So
Yes.
just do it. Just like Nike, just do it.
I was about to say the Nike, but well, it's a good motto that
Yeah,
if you want something, take that uncomfortable action, take that
that's right.
risk, because the opportunities are actually at the boundary of your comfort zone. So,
Yeah,
and you won't be able to enjoy. I always associate it with the window. If if you're inside and the window is dirty, how will you be able to see what is in front of you? So clean it
right.
up, remove all those blockages, remove all those fears and everything that stops you from seeing that vision, and move outside that house so that you'll be able to see that life,
That's
which is
right.
just waiting for you, right?
That's right. I got one more thing I'll say is get comfortable being uncomfortable, because being in that uncomfortable zone is where the magic happens.
Yes, I agree. 100%. Thank you. Thank you. So how can our listeners connect with you?
So you can connect with me. You can either email me at phoenixfitnessfanatics2016@gmail.com. I am also on all the social medias. If you look up Coach Tiffany Parra on IG or Wellness Coach Tiffany, you can also look up PFF Coaching on Facebook and Coach Tiffany Parra on LinkedIn as well. So, and I'm also on Alignable too. As Coach
Okay.
Tiffany Parra.
Okay, that's great. So thank you so much, Tiffany, for this wonderful interview. It was really nice to hear your story, how you were able to move from point A to point B and now spreading that to other people. Wonderful.
So much.
And to our listeners, watch out for our next episode and God bless you all. Thank you. Have
Everyone.
a blessed day.
Here.
Such an incredible story of resilience and transformation. The journey is a powerful reminder that adversity can lead to profound personal growth and the ability to uplift others. It's inspiring to see how each one turned their challenges into opportunities for healing, especially for those who may feel lost or hopeless. I want to take this opportunity to invite you to explore my books, My Journey into Becoming and Dream to Rise from Darkness into Light. In my journey into becoming, I shared my personal struggles in overcoming an abusive relationship and the heart-wrenching moments that followed, ultimately finding my purpose in helping others live their dreams. Dream to Rise, an anthology, combines the stories of 18 courageous co-authors who illuminate the path from darkness to light, each narrative showcasing the profound impact that sharing our truths can have on those who are struggling. Together, we can inspire change and encourage others to embrace their own journeys. Remember, your voice matters, and there is a community of support waiting to lift you up. Let's continue to be beacons of hope and make a difference in this world. Thank you for being here and for everything you're doing to help others rise. For those who would like to be a part of the Dream to Rise Inner Circle, this is a mastermind group that fosters learning and growth. My main objective is to help the members rise and shine. Be a part of this amazing group and let's strive to be the best version of ourselves. If you need more information, please visit my website www.dreamtorise.info. Again, www.dreamtorise.info. Have a blessed day to all.